Welcome to the Grit Behind the Grind podcast, where we dive deep into raw, unfiltered journey of entrepreneurship, fitness, mental health, and building businesses from the ground up. I'm Eric Rao, co-founder of Grit and Grind Coffee, real estate developer, fitness enthusiast, dad, and husband.
And I'm Destiny Rao, co-founder of Grit and Grind Coffee, creative, brand strategist, and above all, mom and wife, bringing you real talk on what it takes to thrive as a business owner, especially when you're doing it alongside your partner. Here, we don't just focus on the wins. We dig deep into the struggles, the sacrifices, and the daily grind that it takes to make it all possible. So tune in, subscribe, and get ready to uncover the grit behind the grind.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Grit Behind the Grind podcast. So it's January. We are going to talk about commitments. We're going to keep this real short and sweet. Something we heard the other day, and it really kind of resonated with me because we are always growing businesses, always doing something, master jugglers, serial entrepreneurs, all the other things. But at the end of the day, it kind of started with being committed to creating a better version of ourselves. And this really struck a nerve with me the other day because it was January 10th and I heard that it was National Quitters Day. I started looking into that and I'm like, what in the world? Is this a real thing? So I used ChatGPT and then found that New York Times had an article. In this article, it said, "We celebrate National Quitters Day, observed on the second Friday of January. Quitters Day recognizes those who began this year with the best intentions and most robust resolutions, only to throw in the towel, pick up the bottle, and otherwise backslide to the baseline the first day of the fresh start." And I'm like, holy cow, this is a real thing.
That is literally a participation trophy for losers.
So Chad this morning at the gym, he was telling me about a meme. I was talking to him about this and he goes, yeah, I seen a meme at the beginning of the year. And it was this guy, he was doing a plank. On day 2, he was doing a plank on his knees. Day 3, he was laying down. And day 4, he was under the sheets, laying in bed. I need to find that meme, you know what I mean? But it just kind of goes to show you, so many people get started with something and then they throw in the towel or they quit for whatever reason. And I was like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do a podcast and we're going to go on here about the middle of January and we're going to encourage people and we're going to say, you know what? Who cares if you threw in the towel? Who cares if you quit? Let's get started again. Let's start making progress because at the end of the day, your personal commitments to yourself are the most important thing that you can do.
I got a better one, and we're going to one up it because we're going to go with the destiny theory for 2026 when you're going to start. So what I did was January 1st through the 7th, I went buck wild. I ate whatever I wanted. I didn't even go to the gym. I think I stayed up till 3 a.m. watching trash TV and woke up at 8 a.m. versus 4 every day for that first week. And you know what? Your girl is killing it week 2 and 3 because you can't go any lower than that week. But I tell you why I did that, because Eric and Braden went on a ski trip and left me, and I realized I should be left unsupervised because that's what I do. I go back to my college days and binge watch TV and eat horrible. But guess what? It has made me who you see today on January 15th. We are killing it. We are getting up for Pilates 3 days a week and traveling 20 minutes. We are still eating like trash, but we are not staying up till 3 a.m. You can only
small
go up
wins, Des. Small wins.
Go up from there. You got to start like that.
So, we're jokingly saying this, but at the end of the day, man, if we think back, let's roll back the time 8 years ago. That's really when we started our fitness journey. And, we were not people who were highly successful and entrepreneurs or doing really cool business things. We literally were just, people who had a regular 9 to 5. I mean, you had a business, but it wasn't something where you were growing clients. It's just maintaining, right? We were living life in a certain light where it's just hey, we get up, it's the mundane, we do the same old thing. But then a switch flipped, right? And we started really focusing on personal development. I remember when we first started this, dude, I was 240 pounds. I look like that I ate one of me.
Can we We have to insert a photo.
We have to find a picture.
We will.
So 8 years ago, the switch flipped and it was you know what? We're finna get in shape. And honestly, I started getting in shape and like started figuring out this is exactly what I'm going to do. And then Destiny got on the bandwagon, what, a week or two later. She's definitely one of those people is like, it's kind of pulling teeth, but you're not going to outdo her. So she got on the bandwagon. And when we started this, I remember the first time that I ever ran a mile, and it took me, what, 16
16
minutes?
minutes.
I mean, that is crazy. Most
Yeah.
people can walk faster than that. And so and now you fast forward 8 years later, I mean, I can do a 7 minute mile and like I run all the time, right? But I'm just trying to paint the picture of where I started was a long way from where I am now. And what happened was I said to myself, look, I'm going to commit to doing this. And then I honored that commitment. You know what I mean? That's the big key takeaway that I want people to really understand is, look, it doesn't happen overnight. But if you say that you're going to do something and you want to become a better version of yourself, then just start doing it. Just like Destiny said, look, we've been doing this for 8 years, and I would say that we are highly fit people, right? We have a very healthy lifestyle. But still, to this day, I mean, it's like the 80-20 rule. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? 20% of the time, we buck wild, we eating cookies and ice cream. And 80% of the time, I mean, it's grilled chicken and rice.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
it definitely is, but like you said, it what people have a tendency to see is like overnight success. And this started way back a long time ago, and so it's being mindful. I love what you said. It's really self-discipline. And self-discipline does not have to be what you eat or, waking up and going to the gym every day at the beginning. It could be as small as just making small commitments, promises to yourself, completing those promises. And then you got a little win in your brain. Rather, it's like, I'm going to make my bed this morning. I'm going to set out my clothes if I were to go to the gym. It's those little bitty mental battles. If you can start stacking those wins up, it gets so much easier when you say, okay, I'm going to actually go to gym because I've been putting my clothes out for the last month. And then all of a sudden, you walk into a gym where you know no one, and it's unbelievable what you can actually do if you start training your mind.
yeah, I want everybody to really understand that, hey, look, at the end of the day, you're not competing against nobody else. You are competing against yourself. The version of yourself that you was yesterday, you are trying to beat that person. When you're looking at a scoreboard, don't gauge yourself off of me, Destiny, somebody you see on social media, Instagram, whatever that looks like. That is not your competitor. Your competitor is you yesterday, that version of yourself. So we've got some really cool things that we've done because it's such a priority in our life. We was like, how can we help other people, get to this next level? How can we introduce people to honoring those commitments and being a better version of themselves? And one of the things that we come up with, we just started this challenge in
Yeah.
January 1. And I don't want people to look at it and say, oh, I didn't start January 1. Like I can't, it's not about points. It's not about competing against other people. It is about being a better version of yourself.
Yeah, and it started from us as to just, owners wanting Eric and I, like he said, we're pretty active. And so we wanted to figure out how we can incorporate our owners and our community, our pretty much our family into moving with us because again, we love community. We love knowing that it's not just us out here doing it and vice versa. We don't want them to feel alone. And so we thought this would be real cool. My goal was like 25 people to get in there. Maybe it was also our baristas that worked for, at each Grit and Grind. Of course, me and Eric dropped in our family. And then all of a sudden I checked it the other day and there's 166 of us doing this challenge. And so the step challenge is, I think you've got to get so many points a day. You get so many points for so many steps. You can use your watch or your Apple phone to track you. It's an app. We'll put the link down below. It's not too late to add yourself to it. It's just a really cool community. Like I said, just looking at different entrepreneurs and just people or moms or dads or whatever you've got going on in life, but choosing to to owe yourself a little bit of me time and just get out and walk a little bit. And it's the coolest thing. It has been so cool seeing everyone's pictures and comments and screenshots. And Eric and I, well, I don't know about Eric, but I get so many messages that are like, oh my gosh, I wish they'd take a day off, because they are super competitive. Like, we have our family and friends and owners, like, you're our family, friends, and, in our circle because of probably a common reason. We're all highly competitive. And so we're trying to trip people virtually and make them mess up. But it's been so fun.
A personal development hack that I've learned in life is get involved in community events. And what I mean by that is sometimes it's a little difficult to self-motivate to go to the gym. You're walking around, it's like, okay, well, what workouts am I going to do? And then just kind of talk to people and do a little bit of legs and then get out the door, right? But if you start signing up for community events, it doesn't matter if it's a 5K, a CrossFit workout, a Pilates workout, whatever it is, to where you show up and you see other people that are doing it. You look to your left and you look to your right and you're like, dang, I guess if they're getting out, the weights, I'll go ahead and get it out too. And those mornings where you really don't feel like it, you're not able to self-motivate. It's like you look to the person next to you and then they are motivating you by just getting out and doing it and starting to move, right? Well, it doesn't matter if it's like, let's turn on the clock and do a countdown, find events to where you are not the only one there, that you are surrounded by other like-minded people that are there. Cause I can guarantee you, they probably don't want to be there either. You know what I mean? They're dreading it. It's 5 a.m. in the morning. Who wants to be working out at 5 a.m. in the morning? But we're all coming together and we've agreed, hey, we're going to show up and do it anyway.
Yeah, it's accountability. Like, anytime you ever see a visual of me running, nowhere in my soul do I actually want to run. It is solely accountability and, Eric probably pulling me along and guilt tripping me, but we're getting the dang thing done. So whatever.
Speaking of that, we have that half marathon coming up and we got to get those miles in today.
Yeah.
So
we'll see about that. It has been so cold though. It is so hard to run in general. I don't know. It's just an excuse I get. So I'll take it.
Yeah.
But if you're not in the step challenge, please add yourself. We would love for you to be there. It's not going to be our one and done. Although the January, we do hope to implement these healthy habits. We're going to do some more of these throughout the year. And I'm super excited to have you in that circle.
Look, don't get caught up judging yourself and comparing to other people. Listen, you are competing against yourself. At the end of the day, like, you start working on yourself, business and all those other things, they fall into place where they're supposed to be. Just work on yourself. Take one small action each day. It does not have to be large. It could be walk, 400 meters, walk a mile, run a mile, whatever that looks like, to where you're moving the needle in your personal development life. Get outside, do it. Who cares that it's not January 1st? Yep. Start today.
Yep. All right, guys. So just keep stacking those wins, and no grit, no pearl.